Welcome back to The Inspired Entrepreneur with Heather Hope. Hey, welcome back. This is Heather Hope with the Inspired Entrepreneur podcast. Welcome back. Happy Sunday, guys. How's your weekend so far? Join me over at YouTube and let me know. So, yes, it's been a really great weekend. I hope yours has been pretty amazing as well. Okay, let's jump into this. If you're new here, obviously my name is Heather Hope, and I talk about the law of attraction. The law of attraction, spirituality. I thought of that yesterday. If somebody were to ask me what I do, well, I do a lot of things, but like, what do I talk about? Well, instead of saying law of attraction, because I think there's a misunderstanding and a sometimes negative connotation or perception or whatever about just the term law of attraction. It's kind of like, oh, that's new age stuff. I think spirituality could be considered that too, but I think I might just tell people I talk about spirituality. Anyway, so I am a humongous Abraham Hicks follower, student, really a student of Abraham. And so I've been learning about Abraham Hicks for the past almost 3 years. And I used to be a law of attraction business coach. I used to be a love coach. I used to be a therapist. And now I just kind of teach it, talk about it on the podcast. I wrote a book called The Inspired Entrepreneur. It's 366 days of inspiration for the entrepreneur. So this podcast is a daily podcast talking about those days. So today is March 28th. And let's jump into this, into this day. March 28th. Everything is supposed to be easy. Alignment makes it easy. Tell me how you feel, or tell me how you feel when you hear me say that. Everything is supposed to be easy, because most of our society completely would laugh their, what off hearing me say that, right? So alignment, what does alignment mean? Alignment is being your whole true self. And who is that? I was talking to a friend the other day we were talking about like, how can people like be a certain way? And I said, there's this thing out there that people should just be all of who they are, good and bad, take it as you want. And that's totally fine. You can live your life any way you want. But, walking around being a jerk to everybody, yeah, it's your prerogative. There's consequences to that. But that's not being truly who you are. You're not a jerk. Who you truly are is pure source energy, which is pure love, pure goodness, happiness, joy, aliveness. What else? Just love, joy, happiness, excitement. Like a really freaking awesome person. You know what I mean? So that's alignment, when you're truly who you really, because you're source energy, right? And source energy is pure positive energy. It's positive. So when you are feeling that way, everything is just easy when you're feeling that way. So I've heard that if it's difficult, if something is difficult, if something is hard, then there's resistance there, because nothing is supposed to be hard. So when I hear people, I cringe. I hear people say, relationships are hard, marriage is hard. Well, I have an opinion about that, that's for sure, because I've had 2 marriages now. Excuse me. I've had a really difficult, really hard marriage. Okay, that was a lot of strenuous talking for me. And I've had a really easy, really amazing marriage. Now, so I understand when people say relationships are hard. I get it. I had one. But the whole time that I was married to my ex-husband, with him all those years, I kept envisioning. Now, of course, this was before I knew anything about Abraham Hicks. Now, I have been into law of attraction since The Secret came out, but I didn't truly understand it until I met Abraham at all. Like, really, that's so surface level. All the law of attraction stuff out there is like, oh, just, think positive thoughts. And that's wonderful. I do it all the time. But to really dig deep into the universe and how it actually works, that is deep. So I have an enormous amount of hindsight now of that relationship. So I have a list of reasons why that relationship didn't work. That kind of feels like it's outside of like my reasoning now that I know about how the world really works. So does that make sense? So it's kind of like, so the whole time I kept feeling like, I felt like he and we just didn't fit together. Like there's a square peg in a round hole, or round peg in a square. You know what I mean? That's what I envisioned. That's how it felt. I felt that so many times. Now, of course, now I know I create my own reality, and all of the crazy crap that kept happening was I kept expecting it to happen. So it was just a train wreck at this. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know any of this, so I can see why it was a train wreck. I see why other people have train wrecks of relationships because they don't understand this. And I see it in business as well. I see it completely in business, the same exact stuff. People who keep saying all of these negative things about their business and how it's slow, or how their customers are like this, or whatever, people don't pay, or that we're always creating our own reality by the thoughts that we think, the belief systems that we hold, and the expectations that we place on people. So, of course, now I see it now. It's total 2020 hindsight. But I do know that when you are in a totally different place to attract your person, a mate, if you're in a really good place, and I ended up, after all the crap and after the crap and crap after the crap, after all of that, I finally decided to stop everything that I was doing, love myself, enjoy my time. Still before Abraham, still before I ever knew about it. Like, I've heard of Abraham Hicks all these years, but I just never knew anything of it. So I loved myself because I kind of innately, of course, it's out there that says, love yourself. I didn't know how powerful that was until afterwards, but love yourself, take care of yourself, be happy, I was really kind of starting to get into like more of law of attraction. Well, because I was a manifestation coach, but kind of more understanding of appreciate yourself more, appreciate your circumstances more, being happy. I ended up being really happy being single, like really happy. It was like once in my lifetime. I've been in relationships like my entire adult life. And so, yeah, I was happy. I was happy being single. And then like poof, 6 weeks later, I start seeing a really good friend of mine. I mean, a good friend of mine. Hadn't seen him in a couple years, but like it was just like poof, out of the blue, or out of the oblivious is what Abraham would say. And it's been really amazing ever since. We're approaching, what are we? Oh, we're like in May we'll be together for 4 years, married for almost 2. But anyway, so everything's supposed to be easy. I believe that wholeheartedly, that if anything is difficult, it's just that energy is not lined up. There's no alignment. Energy is not lined up. Okay, so over the last few weeks, I've talked about the show Undercover Billionaire. watch it. I suggest watching, especially if you're an entrepreneur, and especially if you're into Abraham, because it will show you. And I love this example. The second season of Undercover Billionaire, watch that because it has 3 entrepreneurs who've been very successful in their life take on this challenge. I won't go into details, but you'll see 3 entrepreneurs, 2 of them work with massive resistance and push, hustle, 10x, because one is Grant Cardone. And they're kind of annoying because they're just floundering and pushing people really hard to work hard and just really, they just keep having a really rocky path. They keep, because resistance creates this roller coaster of a life. And so there's a rocky road. So, or a bumpy road. Oh, thank God I remembered bumpy, because every time I say rocky road, I think of ice cream and I'm like, God, I hate this. So, because it just sounds like I'm talking about ice cream. So, but a bumpy road. Well, I'm done with bumpy roads. So I line my energy up and I stay in a really, really good aligned place. I do. I practice this 24, like all the time, every waking hour. I am practicing more and more of letting things go, thinking more positive thoughts, really, really digging into this. And it's just been, it gets better and better and better and better and better. Resistance is releasing more and more and more. And I'm just a happier person. And when I'm happy, I'm in alignment. When I'm happy, things go my way. When I'm happy, things literally just come to me. People are just taking care of me. Things are just happening. Things are lining up. Things are super freaking easy. The less resistance you have and the more happiness you have, everything just becomes so insanely easy. So meditate daily. Now, with that, I didn't meditate today. I woke up, what time did I wake up? 6? I woke up at 6 this morning and I went down. I dropped Roger off and then I went down to where we're going to be moving to, Paradise Valley. And because I check in probably once or twice a month, I drive down there. And because that's where we're moving to. And that's where I'm going to start selling real estate. And that's like where my vision is down there. So I'm always trying to make myself go down there, or not make myself, but make my way down there. Because it's like 70, 80 miles. I don't know how far it is anymore. But so I drive around and visualize and think about all these things and have even more ideas and get excited and all that stuff. So anyway, my visions have been even more stronger. Like I'm really believing what I'm envisioning. Like it's more and more and more, like I'm embodying the vision more. Like it feels more normal to me than like reality, like current reality. Does that make sense? So the more you do this over time, right? Nothing happens overnight. This stuff takes like time to line up with it, time to believe it, time to truly believe it. And then you'll start feeling like it's becoming true. Like it's feeling like it's becoming your new reality. It's really feeling like you're merging into that new reality. That's what it feels like the more you do this. So nothing is like overnight when you start like envisioning stuff. It takes time to release resistance. I had a lot of resistance. Years of resistance of not feeling good and not liking people and not liking myself, I guess. Like I didn't really think I was like that, but anyway. But the more that, the happier I become, now I see, no, I was not all that happy. I had a lot of resistance, but the meditation really has been an enormous piece of things coming together for me. So alignment makes things easy. So when you're aligned with who you really are, you're happy. You're not seeing, you're like looking through rose-colored glasses. That's how it feels like. It really feels that way. I used to have rose-colored glasses. I loved them as sunglasses. I loved them because it made all the scenery look so pretty. And I should get some. Actually, you know what? I really honestly should get some rose colored glasses for sunglasses. I need sunglasses anyway. Something with like a rose tint. Because it's been years and since I had them, but I remember, I live where, we have a lot of mountains around us, and just seeing the mountains and seeing the scenery, and especially with like when the sun's going down and there's a sunset, everything is just so much prettier. So I think I'm going to find them. So anyway, but one of the things that I loved, like with Bashar, I like Bashar a lot, but Bashar says as well, nothing is inherently difficult. Like nothing in this world that we live is like supposed to be difficult. Take that in, guys. Take that in. Nothing in this physical world is supposed to be like it's supposed to be. Like there's rules that this is difficult no matter what. It's our belief systems that make things difficult. It's how we believe it. Like, do you think something's difficult? Then guess what it is. It's one of my pet peeves with people. This is why I don't work one-on-one with people anymore. But when they tell me, I'm just like, I'm very careful with what I say, because I understand that the more I say things, the more it becomes a belief system, or more it just happens in my life. So if I feel like something's difficult, then I'm like, okay, yeah, then I got to let it go for a little bit. I have to like change my mindset about it. I have to believe that it is not difficult, that it is easier, that there's an easier way. So start thinking or reminding yourself that there is an easier way. Like if you have some areas in your life that are difficult, tell yourself, you know what? If this feels difficult, that means that there is an easier way. So how do you find the easier way? You have to not look for it. Like incessantly. I talked about that this week, about trying to make a decision when you can't make a decision, and then you just drive yourself crazy forever and trying to make a decision because you can't. That's a step one moment. You can't get to a step 3 from if you're sitting in step 1. Can't do it. It's impossible. So you got to step out of step 1, allow everything to happen, relax. Like it ends up being so easy. Just easy. And this takes a while. It can take a while. I mean, everyone's different. Every single person's different with like the level of resistance and their belief systems and all that. Like when I was talking about the one coach, like I'm only like for Law of Attraction World as like a regular online coach, like not somebody who's like higher up like Esther or Sanaya Roman or Bashar or anything like that. Just like a Facebook online coach person. I only basically listen to one, or, her posts pop up once in a while. And she's really young. She's, I'm twice her age. And so what that means is I have like, well, maybe not like really twice her age, but very, very close. So I'm like 20, maybe 22, 23 years older than her. And what that means is that's 22 years of adult life, right? 22 years. That's a long time to be an adult in this world, right? Like going through college, going through jobs, going through relationships, having all of this crap, and, being a psych major, for goodness sakes, which is like a lot of the time a bit polar opposite of Law of Attraction. So like all of this life experience has really, all of the like life experience can be amazing. Like you know what I mean? But because we, most of us who are older, we're just like, oh, what do young people know? Well, now I respect young people so much more than ever in my life, because what I've learned is that they have not been exposed to as much life experience as we have. like they haven't been exposed to it. So, this young coach, it's like she is so blessed to understand this stuff at such an early age. Like, for real. For real. Like, she is blessed in my eyes that she knows this stuff at her age. And that, 20 years later, I get it now. You know what I mean? It's like, good for her. Good for her, because now I've had to, I hate this term, hate it. I hate this term. Unpack. I freaking hate that. I have a list of words that I can't stand because people use them too much. But like that's what it feels like. I had, 22 years of unpacking. Oh, gross. Of all the crap that I learned that now I have to unlearn because it's just opposite of what truly is. Does that make sense? So I really honor what younger people say now. I really honor, because they're so close to source. They're, like little kids. I've always had this thing where I love talking to kids. I originally, when I was trained as a therapist, I was trained specifically as a child therapist, as a child play therapist, sand tray therapist. I was certified in all of that. This was years ago, right? And I love children. I don't necessarily want them. Like, I kind of thought about it a couple months ago, but like at this stage of my life, or soon, it's kind of a thought. But, well, it hasn't been a thought in a couple months, trust me. But you know what I mean? Like, because I love kids. I think they're brilliant. I respect them highly of what the things that they say. And there's a lot of adults that do not respect children at all and what they're saying. And they try to make them believe other things. And, like, it's silly to listen to young people. And it's like, it's silly to listen to old people, or not old people, but older people. That's silly. Like, what do we know? Like, like our governor lifted our mask mandate here in Arizona, this week. And, I am strongly opposed to that, but, so it made our town even less masks because half the town didn't wear them anyway. But I'm always prepared for something. Nobody ever says anything to me, but it's like I always want to be prepared with a really funny thing to say to people, like, well, you don't have to wear your mask anymore, and I'm like, I just want to say, well, I don't listen to, I can't say this. I'm not going to say this on air. Sorry. I don't listen to dumb politicians. That's part of the part of my statement. But anyway, I listen to like science on this one. So, anyway, so yeah, let's not go there because that's just like a crazy subject. But anyway, little kids, like 6, like I love toddlers. Like I used to be a nanny when I was very young, like 18 or whatever. And, so that was fun. I babysat since I was 12, but, so like, I love like toddlers, like toddler little boys. I don't want this to sound creepy, but, it's not, but they're adorable, and they're sponges, meaning you could teach them everything and they will pick up on it. I used to just teach the kids that I nannied a ton of stuff. They were so brilliant because all I did was just like teach them because they wanted to learn like their ABCs and all this stuff, right, at a young age. Anyway, but the age that I love talking to is like 6 to, well, 6, 7, like 6 years old. I remember just a 6-year-old little girl that I talked to once. And it was just so much fun to talk to her. It's just amazing. Anyway, enough about that. But let's get back to our day. Everything is supposed to be easy, guys. Alignment makes it easy. So the more, the less resistance you have, the easier things will be. That's like an equation somehow. Put it on paper somehow of an equation. Less resistance, more ease. Less resistance, more ease in everything in your life. more ease. So less resistance. How do you reduce resistance? You meditate first and foremost. Please meditate, relax, chill. Don't have thoughts for several minutes. Breathe. Think good thoughts. How else do you reduce resistance? You have fun. You let go of, restriction in your mind of like, oh no, I can't have fun. I got to work. No, let some stuff go. Let it go and give room for the universe to take care of some things for you. Because the universe can do things a lot easier than we can. It's pretty powerful. So how else do you reduce resistance? You have to figure that out. You figure it out on your own. I've given you a couple ideas. What feels good to you? Actually really feels good. When Esther goes, when Jerry was alive, Esther and Jerry would go to the cliffs over in La Jolla and listen to the ocean. And it only takes about 15 minutes for Jerry to get antsy. The antsiness is him, he's done here. You know what I mean? She could be there forever because she can let go of that resistance of I just need to go do something else. So you have to listen to yourself. So don't stay at the ocean when you need to be somewhere else. You know what? Not need, but when you are antsy, don't try to make yourself. It's okay to only enjoy it for 15 minutes. It's totally fine. That's awesome. Don't try to make yourself stay because you're just going to have a resistance because you really want to be somewhere else now. Totally fine. So you find what works for you that you can be at peace. When I'm working a lot or studying a lot or doing whatever a lot, my brain will be feeling tired. So I'll take a break and I'll go watch some stupid TV. I feel like I need stupid TV. That means reality shows and these reality dating, 90 Day Fiance, whatever crazy shows. I like that stuff. It gives me a break from whatever I'm doing and into this stupid world. But that's just one little thing that I do because I need I just don't need to think or concentrate all that hard on something for a while. Or I'll go take a drive, or I'll take a nap, or meditate, or have lunch, or whatever it is, or go outside. Oh, I didn't go outside today with my dog. We've been going out in the backyard and running around. Where was I today? I don't know. So yeah. Oh, he got up. Okay, guys. So I'm going to let you go. I have no idea how long we've been going. Okay. That sounds good. Okay, guys. Have an amazing rest of your weekend. And I'll be back bright and early Monday morning. Bye.